You're looking at an email you sent to your family. Here's what you said. At 11 o'clock that night, approximately 1 hour after you told the American people it was a video, you say to your family, 2 officers were killed today in Benghazi by an al-Qaeda-like group. You tell the American people one thing, you tell your family an entirely different story. The next day, within 24 hours, you had a conversation with the Egyptian Prime Minister. You told him this: we know the attack in Libya had nothing to do with the film. It was a planned attack, not a protest. State Department experts knew the truth. You knew the truth, but that's not what the American people got.
Maybe because she's a liar. Joining us now on the Malzberg panel, Tom Borelli, Dr. Tom Borelli, Ph.D. I was going to tell him I had a sore throat, but contributor to Conservative Review, and Steven Leser is here, host of Making Sense with Steve Leser and Democratic strategist. Okay, let me start with you, Steven. These hearings, to me, again, if we had a fair media in this country, Hillary would be toast today, because just that exchange with Congressman Jordan alone, and we didn't hear the answer. Let me let you hear what Hillary said in response to the revelation today, for the first time, of an email that she sent to her family, that this was not a terrorist, that this was not in response to a video. She said it specifically. It was in response to, it was a terrorist attack. An hour after she told us, the United States public, that it was in response to a video. She also told the same thing to Egypt and to the Libyan Prime Minister, not about a video. It was a terrorist attack, and here's how she responded.
Why didn't you tell the American people exactly what you told the Egyptian Prime Minister?
Well, I think if you look at the statement that I made, I clearly said that it was an attack.
Calling it an attack is like saying the sky's blue. Of course it was an attack.
Well,
you don't, we want to know the truth. The statement you sent out was a statement on Benghazi, and you say vicious behavior as a response to inflammatory material on the internet. If that's not pointing as the motive of being a video, I don't know what is. And that's certainly how the American people saw it.
Well, Congressman, there was a lot of conflicting information that we were trying to make sense of. The situation was very fluid. It was fast-moving.
All right. This is Hillary. Nothing's going to happen to me. I mean, Stephen, she lied. She's caught with the goods. She told her family, the Egyptian authorities and the Libyan authorities, one thing. An hour after she told the American public and made up this story, another. How'd she get out of this one?
Steve, I got to tell you, this is not unusual for folks who are at a sort of senior but not cleared to say anything that they want to the media. You can have your own personal opinions. You can say them to the folks who are close to you. But if you don't have sign-off from, in this case, the President of the United States, to give an official statement on what happened, you have to sort of go with the administration party line.
She gave an official statement on what happened.
Look, she gave the
made up the
administration.
video.
No, she gave the administration party line on what was going on, because that's all the information that they had at the moment. She said herself there were conflicting reports, so she had to go with what the administration was putting out as a policy.
The problem with that, of course, Tom, is that she came up with the reason. It was her. It's like, it wasn't stamped classified, but it was classified. She's the one who made the excuse. It's not like the president told her, unless she had a conversation with the president, they concocted this. But she told the American public that it was the video. She told her family and these other governments it was Ansar al-Sharia.
Well, look, once again, the Obama administration is being caught in lie after lie after lie. And let's not forget, this lie happened during the election last time around. This was key to Obama being re-elected. Lying is part and parcel of what they do in the Obama administration. We want to know why it happened, what happened, and why they were lying. But I'm glad the American people are finally being exposed to a lie. Thank God for Jim Jordan. He got a nail to the wall.
I mean, there's so much more, Stephen. I don't know where to start. A State Department official, they provided pictures of the meeting, met with an al-Qaeda-linked figure who fought with al-Qaeda in Iraq 2 days before the attacks. Hillary knows absolutely nothing about it. 600 plus requests for enhanced security came from the Ambassador Stevens, who, by the way, Hillary said, he didn't have my email. And Hillary said she never saw not one of those requests made it to her desk. Yet Sidney Blumenthal sent her over 160 emails. They all made it to her. What the heck is going on here?
You know, again, this makes perfect sense to me. Her responses make perfect sense to me. Hillary is not a personal or embassy security expert. Any requests like that would have to go through the folks that the State Department relies on.
So she never sees them. She knows nothing about them. Secretary of State has no input. Yet she sends a security-related email from Sidney Blumenthal. She has it sent to the ambassador to respond to. A man who never went to Libya, knows nothing about Libya, but apparently is advising her on Libya. That makes perfect sense, too?
You know, see, I have to say, the thing that really clued me in about what was going on here with this whole thing is when Trent Gowdy said, this is not about Hillary Clinton, this is about the 4 people that died. And then you have Congresswoman Susan Brooks coming in with this stack of Hillary's emails.
Yeah,
so obviously, it's about Hillary.
Benghazi.
It's not about the truth.
You know why
it's
it is
not
about
the
Benghazi?
4 people who died. It's about Hillary.
It's about Hillary because she was in charge.
Right.
Too bad she was. She could do this, but she was. We're coming back. All right, we're back with the Malzberg panel, Tom Borelli and Steven Leser. Before we get to latest polls and some politics, more politics, and this is the Democrats in the U.S. Senate blocking a bill that would do away with sanctuary cities. Sanctuary cities like San Francisco that make it possible for someone who commits heinous felonies to stay in that city, somebody wanted by the authorities for raping a woman perhaps, or attacking a family, whatever, maybe even murder. They're protected from the feds, and they know it. That's why this guy who killed the young girl in San Francisco went back to San Francisco for the 6th time. He knew he'd be protected by authorities until he actually got caught with murder. I mean, Stephen, how on earth do the Democrats, and again, let them run on this, because that's one reason Donald Trump's resonating, because people agree with his position on immigration, and common sense dictates that you agree with doing away with sanctuary cities.
Well, I'm certainly not in favor of giving any kind of refuge to murderers or rapists, but this is one of the reasons why we need some sort of immigration reform, no matter what it is. You can be sending them all home. It can be, you know, obviously I don't want that. I want them to get a path to citizenship. But somehow the Democrats and Republicans have to get together.
Why?
So that things
like this...
What does
this have to do with it? Why can't they vote on what the Republicans are trying to get through and take this step and do away with protecting criminals who are here illegally?
This would supersede that. This would include all of that. This would include getting
to an agreement. So you're throwing the baby. So you're saying sanctuary cities have to stay because you can't get everything at once. So sanctuary cities have to say, Tom, that's a pretty poor excuse.
That's not what I'm saying.
This is an issue that really shouldn't be political. It's right or wrong. It is wrong for legal citizens to be a magnet into cities like San Francisco. That's why Kate Steinle was murdered, because this individual had the revolving door between Mexico and San Francisco. And it's really too bad that the Democrats really see everything through a political lens. This is clearly right or wrong. We need American citizens here. We don't need these wave of immigrants that we cannot afford to pay for all the things they're getting.
By the way, more coming up on immigration on the Give Me 5 segment, where a study has been done by a congressional committee showing that will be one out of every 3 Americans will be Latino in 2060. And Carolyn Maloney says that means we all have to learn to speak Spanish. I think not. I think they better learn to speak English. But that's the Democrat thought process and mindset. All right, let's go to Joe Biden getting out. What about it, Stephen? Were you surprised?
I wasn't. Actually, I won a couple of bets with some other conservative commentators.
I hope they were legal.
I think so.
FanDuel.
But February,
not email, of course.
I actually called this back in February of 2014 that Biden would not get in the race.
All right, and Tom? Sorry.
Yeah, I actually thought he was going to get in the race, but I still think he's in the bullpen. It's World Series time. He's getting his arm warmed up, because if Hillary gets indicted by the FBI, Biden comes in as the savior.
He is. He absolutely, because after he announced that he wasn't running, what did he do? He gave a 20-minute campaign speech, the same speech, I maintain, that he would have given had he said, I am running.
I think you're right there.
Yeah, so if Hillary falters, you know what? We got. I'm going to throw a curve here to somebody. Let's get 74, and let's see if we could come out with this, since we're told you said home run and baseball and the whole thing. Let's see if we could run this. Watch this.
The 1-1 in the air, deep right center field. That ball is gone. Daniel Murphy has homered in 6 straight postseason games. Nobody's ever done it before.
Incredible. The Mets swept the Cubs in the NLCS to go into the World Series. They're going to meet the winner of Toronto, Kansas City. World Series starts Tuesday in the American League City. Daniel Murphy, guys, had 14 home runs in the regular season. Wow. He's homered in 6 straight playoff games. He has 7 home runs in the postseason off some of the best pitchers in baseball. 10 seconds each. Tom, how do you explain this?
New Mr. October. We had Reggie Jackson, now we have Mr. Murphy.
That's interesting.
You talk about being clutch. Wow, what a time to get hot. He must be just thrilled, and I'm sure the Mets are thrilled with him. And I'm taking the Mets in the World Series. I think they're beating whoever comes.
Yeah, I think their pitching is just too incredible, and even their bullpen has really risen to the task. I know their closer, Familia, is up to it, but the middle relief has even worked. But I got to tell you, don't look for Murphy to be back with the Mets next year.
Right. He's free agent, right?
Yeah, don't look for Cespedes to be back with the Mets next year, but they'll have the core pitching and the bullpen, and I think they can replace those pieces. I will say, I like the fact that Murphy talks about religion. He credits everybody else around him, and a lot of the players, you know, they cross their hearts to do this. None of them get criticized the way they criticized a certain football player because he was a devout Christian. We're coming back with Webb Hubble. Don't go away. More than 80 million Americans make up the baby boom generation, and astoundingly, most have done little planning for their retirement. Now, a new book, The Baby Boomer Survival Guide, has been released to help boomers and others prepare for retirement. This guide is filled with money-saving tips and valuable advice to grow and protect your wealth and health. Yes, the baby boom generation can thrive in retirement, and this guide explains how. Newsmax says it's the best guide for retirees and those preparing for it. This book is available on Amazon and bookstores everywhere, but Newsmax has a remarkable free offer for the Baby Boom Survival Guide. Simply visit the website on the screen or call us toll-free and check out the free offer. Remember, you have nothing to lose and you could profit big time.